Hey guys, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing okay. I'm going to give you a very thorough overview of the article here, but to be honest, this is more of a talking point. I'm going to express my view to quite a large extent, going to go on a bit of a ramble fest, and your view may significantly differ than mine. If so, feel free to put a comment in the comment section. Doesn't matter if you think what I'm saying is a load of twaddle, you're more than welcome to express your view. There is a link in the description. If you appreciate the coverage, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. I'll perhaps go through the article in a bit of a non-linear fashion. So the article is in regards to the murder of 7-year-old Athena Strand. I'm not going to go in depth in regards to the details, but in brief, Athena Strand went missing from her home last Wednesday, so less than a week ago. Her home in Paradise, Texas. She went missing Wednesday afternoon. She was found dead 2 days later on Friday, 10 miles away from her home. She had been snatched, kidnapped, and ultimately murdered within 1 hour of her being kidnapped. The police have arrested and have in custody a suspect. I'm quite sure the suspect has confessed. I've not followed the Athena Strand case completely closely, but I'm quite sure that the suspect has confessed. His name is Tanner Horner. He was the FedEx driver, the delivery driver. He snatched Athena Strand, drove her 10 miles away, and killed her. This article is in regards to the grandfather and his way of coping with the murder of his granddaughter, 7-year-old Athena Strand. So he's made a statement, and we'll read through that statement in just a quick moment. You know what? We'll go through to that now. Let's have a look at the statement. So this is a statement from Mark Strand, Athena Strand's grandfather. I'm going to read it out. This man I am is angry, and I want 5 minutes alone in a cell with the psycho that took our Athena away from us. But there's a soft, gentle voice in the back of my head telling me that I need to forgive him. If I allow this hate to consume me, that voice will fade and eventually be silenced. Then that ugly spirit of hate will have succeeded, and that's why this gentle voice persists to tell me that I need to forgive this man. Here is the scumbag murderer. Again, his name, Tanner Horner, 31 years of age, the FedEx driver. He's a wannabe rock star. He's a sicko, he's a psycho, he's evil. He kidnapped and murdered 7-year-old Athena Strand. The grandfather is expressing that his knee-jerk reaction is to, I'll say, violently attack the murderer. He wants to spend 5 minutes in a cell. Why would that be? To beat the living daylights out of him. But he's resisting that, and the grandfather is embracing forgiveness. So we'll just read on a little bit more from the grandfather Mark Strand's statement, which he's made on Facebook. I've said statement. I mean, it's a comment on Facebook. So I'll continue with what he said. There's not 1 ounce of my flesh that wants to do this or say this, but my spirit has heard God's voice, and right now, while tears flood my eyes, I declare publicly that I forgive this man. Hate will not win. I hope my family will understand that I don't do this for the sake of this man. I do this for the sake of my family and myself, and to honor the voice of God, who has given me the strength to say this. I do this to honor our precious Athena, who knew no hate. Love conquers all and forgives. Today I choose love, and hate loses. So that's the statement or the comment that the grandfather, Mark Strand, has written in Facebook. And that's what this article is about. And I'm going to give you my thoughts. And my thoughts aren't set in stone. My thoughts are in flux. But my knee-jerk reaction, which I think I'm going to remain with, my knee-jerk reaction is, fuck this, fuck that, fuck forgiveness. I grew up Christian, I grew up Roman Catholic, and to me, in my experience, on this time on this planet, is that forgiveness is constantly abused. The whole concept of forgiveness is constantly abused. To me, when you forgive somebody, you give that person a pass. You give that person a pass. And sometimes that's fully justified. People do deserve second chances. They do deserve second chances. Why not? People make mistakes, we're not perfect. We all slip up. We make mistakes. We can learn from those mistakes. We can correct our behavior. Forgiveness does have a part to play in life. However, in my experience, I've witnessed so many people that just abuse the whole concept of forgiveness. They do wrong in the full knowledge that those around them that are Christian, that support Christian values, that believe in forgiveness, people do wrong in full knowledge that they're going to be so-called forgiven. And with that, they're not really going to receive any significant punishment. And with that, they're going to be able to continue with their bad behavior without any real repercussion. So to me, forgiveness is abused extensively and is used as a tool to enable wrongdoers. And it also serves, in my mind, to neglect the suffering or the hurt that is being felt by the victim concerned of the bad behavior, whatever that bad behavior may be. And this applies if the bad behavior is relatively trivial. I think it applies even in significantly bad behavior. Forgiveness has its place, but it's abused. It should be given out very, very sparingly, and it should not be given out repeatedly to the same offenders. And it also should not be given out. Forgiveness should not apply to those that seriously transgress any sense of normal human decency. Athena Strands, 7 years of age, was kidnapped and murdered. The murderer, that I'm quite sure has confessed, 31-year-old, what's his name? Tanner Horner. Pardon my French, ladies and gentlemen. This murderer, scumbag, psycho, evil, motherfucking piece of shit, CUNT, does not deserve forgiveness from anybody, least of all a grandfather of the victim. This scumbag deserves having his arms ripped off. That's what he deserves. He deserves complete brutality. He deserves no empathy, no level of decency. He deserves no holds barred in regards to his treatment. He does not deserve forgiveness. Why would you throw away forgiveness on someone so unworthy? Look, Mark Strand is his own man, and he's going through a very difficult time in his life. His whole family is going through an incredibly difficult time. I have to respect that. I don't hold anything against Mark Strand. It's his life. He's got to cope with these things as he chooses fit. I'm just expressing my feelings on the subject of forgiveness, perhaps in general. I'm sure I'm relating it to this topic, but yeah, I'm trying to keep my comments pretty general. In essence, I feel that Mark has the right to do whatever he wants, but it does not sit right with me. And this is not something that I could ever do personally. I could never forgive a scumbag, a piece of shit that took anybody's life. That took anybody's life. Least of all, a child's life. Least of all, a child that I knew, you know, a family member. This is part of what I really don't understand. How can the grandfather reflect on the loss of Athena? How can he reflect for a moment? The grandfather knew Athena. The grandfather knew what her favorite color was, what her favorite food was, knew her personality, what she likes to do, knew her sense of humor. You know, they've shared moments together, they've had fun together. They've cried together, whatever it is, but they had a relationship. How can you reflect for a moment on the scumbag that ended the life of a 7-year-old, your 7-year-old granddaughter, and how can you not feel anything but utter rage throughout every fiber of your being? How are you able to put that on hold? Even if you were to logically conclude, oh, hey, this concept of forgiveness, that works for me too. That's going to give me a mental break. That's probably good for my mental well-being, my mental health, to forgive this guy. Oh, that's logical. Let's do that forgiveness thing. How do you manage to do that? I don't have the buttons in my brain to be able to program my brain to literally forgive. To literally think, oh, you know what, mate? Oh, it was, you shouldn't have done that. That was really bad. But, these things happen. Oh, let's just forget about it, eh? Well, we won't forget about it, but, we'll move on. We'll move on. I'm not going to hate you anymore. I'm not going to feel rage towards you. I'm not going to feel ill towards you. I don't know. I can't fathom that. And to me, it doesn't seem the right thing. I'm sorry to say, Mark Strand, it might be what you need to do in this moment in time. Maybe you're struggling to keep it together, and maybe this is one means that you have to try to keep it together. I suspect that's it. But for me, personally, I feel that forgiveness is overused in a lot of cases, and I don't think it applies to those people that transgress society's rules, the rules of human decency. Forgiveness just doesn't come into it. We should not forgive scumbags that murder people, certainly scumbags that murder children. These are sick individuals. They just, I don't know, forgiveness just doesn't come into the situation for me. I do understand the notion that forgiveness isn't for the person being forgiven, but it's for the forgiver, that it does allow this release of anger and hatred and rage. I get that. Personally, I've not been able to forgive. Personally, I don't know, my brain gets in the way, my rationalization gets in the way, my reason gets in the way. No, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. I'm not going to forgive or give a pass to this wrongness. Yeah, not going to do it. What could this guy possibly do or say to put myself or someone, I'm going to say sane, in the position that they forgive him? What could he possibly say? Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done it. Yeah, you're fucking right, you shouldn't have done it, you piece of shit. What could he say or do? He can't do anything. He can't bring Athena back. There is no time machine that he can go in to go back to Wednesday afternoon and not kidnap and murder Athena Strand. No such time machine exists. So what can he say or do that could put me in a position that I could forgive some scumbag like this? Nothing. He'd never get forgiveness from me. I know I've gone on a bit of a ramble, haven't I? I'm going to finish up just by reading out a couple of comments from the mother and the auntie. So we'll read this comment from the mother. Athena's mother, Maitland Gandhi, described the murderer as a sick, cruel monster. Here's a quote from Athena's mother. Athena is innocent, beautiful, kind, intelligent, and just the brightest, happiest soul you could ever meet. I don't want her to be the girl known as the one murdered and discarded by a monster. I want everyone to know, every single person in this world, that this is my baby and my baby was taken from me. I cannot describe the pain and absolute anger I feel. Missing her doesn't cover how I feel. So I'm going to say to the mother, obviously I know that the mother's not going to be listening, watching this video. I relate more to the mother's emotions. The mother, seemingly to me, is forgiveness is not a consideration. Is not on the table. Not an option to be discussed, to be given any thought. Her baby, her cherished child, her cherished soul, has been brutally taken away. There's just no going back from that. Athena's mother, Maitland Gandhi, her sole focus is just remembering and respecting her child. And this scumbag, in the meantime, just deserves everything he can get. Every bit of brutality. I'm going to wrap things up at this point. Has this been worthwhile? I'm not entirely sure, but I'll post it anyway. So I've got mixed feelings. Largely, I have a bias against forgiveness. I just don't think I think it's a bit of a scam, to be honest. I think forgiveness is a bit of a scam. By the way, did I mention I did grow up Christian? I grew up Roman Catholic. My faith has wavered. So I am fully aware of the concept of forgiveness. It's a subject I've looked into quite a bit because I've struggled with it. I've had too many people told me that I ought to forgive others, and I'm like, don't really want to. Don't really want to. Give me a reason to forgive. You know, I don't have the bits and bobs, the buttons to press in my brain to literally enable me to forgive. I mean, how do I overcome the anger that I feel towards those that have done me or others harm? I can only overcome that if I'm given reasons to. I'm sick and tired of the reason for forgiveness being, oh, okay, I don't want to feel this way, so it benefits me. Fuck that. I'd rather be hateful and rageful and respectful and mindful of the victims. Forgiveness is, I don't know, it's just the wrong path for me. Anyway, I'm going to wrap things up here, guys. Take care.